headlines.
Coming up in NBN News, security ramped up at Sydney University after yesterday's shock stabbing. Chaos and carnage in India, more than 100 people killed when a religious gathering turns into a stampede. The surprising and affordable helmet that comes out on top in new safety ratings. From cardboard beds to e-scooters, a final look inside the Olympic Village with a French twist. And going for gold, the Scone equestrian is changing the sport for disabled athletes across the world. Tonight, police swoop a man charged over a dramatic series of armed robberies in the Hunter.
Stampede horror. More than 120 lives lost at a religious gathering.
The federal government introduces its signature Made in Australia bill, but will it make it through the Senate?
Aussie First, the new rating system to help bike riders choose the best helmet.
And Trent Barrett calls for Eels bosses to end the speculation and announce the club's new coach.
This is NBN News with Gavin and Natasha Beyersdorf.
Good evening. Been a major development in the investigation into a number of dramatic robberies across the Hunter.
A 35-year-old man is tonight in custody after being arrested by police at a home in Karua.
From a brazen smash and grab to a ram raid, these dramatic nighttime robberies earlier this year, captured on camera, caused tens of thousands of dollars in damage and even prompted a police strike force investigation that culminated yesterday with the arrest of Nash Stephen Cobb. Police allege the 35-year-old was involved in the theft of this ATM at Tea Gardens in March, where 3 people rammed their way into a tobacco shop, sending stock flying before ripping the machine from a wall, loading it into a ute and taking off. Cobb is also accused of helping to steal thousands of dollars in cigarettes from a Williamtown service station 2 months earlier. He was arrested at a house on Ridgeway Close at Karua yesterday morning. Inside, officers allegedly found tools and vehicle parts which they claim were stolen. He's been charged with 5 offences, including 3 counts of aggravated break and enter in company. Cobb's case was mentioned in Raymond Terrace local court today. The 35-year-old didn't appear, though, after being taken to hospital. He remains in custody. The matter will be heard again tomorrow. Tyson Cottrell, NBN News.
More than 120 people, mostly women and children, have died in a stampede in India. Thousands of worshippers had gathered to hear a preacher's sermon, and the horror unfolded. And a warning, images in this story are confronting.
Chaos and complete desperation. In 43-degree temperatures, thousands push and shove in an horrific human stampede. Scores were killed and dozens injured. The crowds had gathered in India's Hathras district in the country's north. They'd come to see this man, a preacher known as Bol Baba. It's not clear what caused the crush, but witnesses say more than 15,000 worshippers had gathered for the event, which had permission to hold 5,000. Video of the aftermath shows the tent collapsed. People started falling one upon another. Those who were crushed died. People there pulled them out, this woman said. The nearby hospital overwhelmed with the injured. Prime Minister Narendra Modi offered his condolences to the families of the victims, mostly women and children. In London, Jessica Millwood, NBN News.
Green energy, economic security and plenty of jobs. That's what the federal government promising as its signature Made in Australia bill is introduced to Parliament. But with tens of billions of taxpayer dollars at stake, could that get to the Senate?
In Canberra, the government agrees.
The world is moving on and Australia needs to move with it.
Funding will prioritise 2 groups: the net zero transformation for renewable and green energy plans and economic resilience, focusing on crucial supply chains and Australian manufacturing. A new community priorities list will be established to guide the billions in taxpayer investments every year.
Will we see the 40
$5 million of ad spend before we see a single project.
Strong economies possess strong manufacturing capabilities.
The Albanese government tonight already investing in green hydrogen, Australian-made batteries and critical mineral processing.
As the world moves to a net zero economy, there is nowhere you'd rather be than Australia.
We can see right through the smokescreen. This is about coal and gas.
Now's the right time for the Australian government to do this type of initiative.
The plan lays out an agenda for a possible second term of this Labor government, but the economic battles of this term are still being felt right across Australia. New figures from the ABS show retail trade rose 0.6% in May, buoyed by discounts and end of financial year sales, with underlying spending flat. Higher interest rates continuing to bite in the economy, with the Reserve Bank's next rates meeting a month away. Charles Croucher, NBN News.
A pumped hydro project planned for a former Muswellbrook coal mine has been identified as critical to the state's clean energy future. The Min's government today declared 6 projects as critical state significant infrastructure, given their potential benefit to the New South Wales economy. The pumped hydro plan would see the open cut mine transformed into a 400 megawatt generator with 8 hours of storage capacity.
A man has avoided jail over a crash near tea gardens which claimed the lives of 2 people. Today, a court heard Shane Ambrosoli wasn't driving over the speed limit, but a failure to exercise care in wet conditions caused, quote, catastrophic consequences.
Tight-lipped and flanked by supporters before learning his fate. Do you have anything to say to the victims' families? Shane Ambrosoli walked into Raymond Terrace Court. In March 2022, the 61-year-old was behind the wheel of a work ute which crossed to the wrong side of the Pacific Highway near Tea Gardens, causing a crash which killed motorbike rider Michael Burke and another driver, Jemima Dowding, while injuring a third person. Having since pleaded guilty to negligent driving, today the court heard Ambrosoli was travelling at 104 kilometres an hour, less than the speed limit, but excessive for the torrential rain at the time when his vehicle aquaplaned. And while roadworthy, it was later found to have slightly reduced its back tyres. Pointing to Ambrosoli's remorse, his defence lawyer said it was perhaps a lesson for everyone to check their tyres more frequently, but Magistrate Justin Peach said speed caused him to lose control and a failure to exercise care caused catastrophic consequences, while he also cited the fact Ambrosoli thinks of the victims' families when he's around his own, adding it may be likely no punishment this court imposes is as bad as the one he imposes on himself. The Crown acknowledged Ambrosoli's post-traumatic stress disorder would make time behind bars harsh, and the magistrate ultimately handed him a 14-month intensive corrections order. He was also disqualified from driving for a further 10 months. Mr Ambrosoli, how do you feel about the outcome? Sarah Giuliano, NBN News.
Firefighters worked to rescue a 19-year-old woman trapped in a Subaru last night after it collided with a Holton Commodore towing a trailer at Ropes Crossing in Sydney's west. She was taken to Westmead Hospital with non-life-threatening injuries.
Volunteers have issued a heartfelt appeal after valuable items were stolen from their community garden at Lake Macquarie. The green space has been a haven for years, even growing food for people struggling during the pandemic.
From fresh strawberries to herbs, this community garden in Bunya Park at Warners Bay is much loved. But last Friday morning, volunteers arrived to find their garden sheds broken into and valuable items stolen.
It's shaken us a bit because we've always been a safe area. There have been people coming through, there's lots of kids coming through. It's become a very social little community that we work in.
Among the thieves' haul, a specialist lawnmower, drills, batteries and a fundraising jar full of donations. All up, it's worth thousands of dollars.
The members, they're all volunteers and they've worked hard, working at barbecues, at Bunnings and things like that to get money together over those years to put things together.
And it's not just about the financial cost.
It's more the indignation of them breaking into our space, I think, than anything.
Then there's the self-propelled mower. Volunteers say at their age, they're unable to mow the lawn without it.
We really like the mower. We've called it Mandy because it's actually self-motivated. We can motivated up the hill without actually having to push it.
The garden was established around 14 years ago, the group looking to grow fresh produce and community spirit. Lake Macquarie Police are aware of the theft and are investigating. They are calling for anyone with information or security vision to come forward. Volunteers making an appeal of their own.
Why don't you just return the mower and we'll be very happy. Thank you very much.
Imogen McCulloch, NBN News.
Cattle producers are urged to be on the lookout for downed cows. Cold, wet weather and a lack of feed has led to an increased number of cattle lying down for extended periods of time. The animals are often suffering from conditions including low blood sugar. Farmers are urged to contact their local vet for a diagnosis.
Tomago played host to the New South Wales Skills Minister today, Steve Wan, visiting the West Track Institute at Tomago to highlight the importance of training in the construction and mining industries.
We've got huge shortages in these areas and they're fantastic careers for young people to go into. So I'd certainly encourage people in the region to think about joining the people here at West Track.
Funded under the state's Smart and Skilled program, the Institute has the capacity to train up to 300 students annually.
The Royal Australian Air Force has a new chief. Air Marshal Stephen Chappell was today handed the reins by outgoing Chief Robert Chipman, who will go on to become Vice Chief of the Defence Force. The new Air Force boss is an ex-fighter pilot and also the son of former Australian cricket captain Greg Chappell. The cold and crisp Canberra morning warmed up by a low-level jet fly past.
The Hunter's next generation of chefs competed in a cook-off in Newcastle today for a prestigious prize. The Nestlé Golden Chef's Hat Award is Australia's longest-running competition for young chefs, and today TAFE's Hamilton campus hosted one of 2 regional heats.
So today they've needed to use the protein, which is chicken. They've got a combination of vegetables to use there, and of course our Nestlé products, needing to use 4 Nestlé products in the 2 courses that they're going to do.
The winner of each heat progresses to the grand final in Melbourne.
Fabulous weather for eating or cooking as well, but at least we had some sunny breaks today. Showers, squally at times moving through in tops of 16 to 17 today.
Next, a major search in the Northern Territory amid fears a 12-year-old girl has been taken by a crocodile.
A member of Joe Biden's own party breaks ranks and calls on him to pull out of the election race.
Plus, cardboard beds, but no air conditioning. The village that will house our athletes in Paris.
What's your pitch? Forget the pitch. You've got an itch.
That itch could be dandruff. Silence it. Head & Shoulders removes up to 100% dandruff and itch. Head & Shoulders.
Newton's laws of gravity were made to be broken in Aldi's ultralight insulated children's down jacket, just $34.99. It's special you can buy at the Aldi Outdoor Adventure Sale this Saturday. Aldi, good different.
See ya. Isn't just great?
She's so hot. Did someone say KFC?
I don't care. I love it. You wouldn't know it, but this morning Jasmine was running a fever. A dose of children's Panadol, a good nap, and a few hugs from Dad. Now she's ready for everything. Help them back to their epic best with children's Panadol.
At Spotlight's massive home sale, 40% off all rugs, runners and mats, 50% off Riley room darkening curtains, and 40 to 50% off all patio blinds. So roll it, hang it and cover it for less, all backed by a bargain guarantee. Sale on now. At Spotlight, it's what you make it.
Australia just in front.
If you think your cost of living is tough, the Albanese government is about to make it tougher for regional Australia. They want you to pay to stream your favourite sports.
There goes our tax cuts.
And our energy rebates. It's un-Australian.
Stand up for regional Australia. Stand up for a free sporting nation. Go to freeforeveryone.com.au.
Please keep sport free.
Supercoat dogs live their best life because Supercoat is made with our very own smart blend of high-quality ingredients, plus 22 essential vitamins and minerals, nourishing dogs to be at their best. Supercoat.
The all-new Mitsubishi Triton is here.
Nothing can frighten a Triton.
It's hard to tell pain, but I didn't want to do things. You know, when you've got 3 kids, you want to get out and about all the time. So having no pain, that's vital. For me, the Good Feet store made a big difference.
See for yourself with a free personalised arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Newcastle Adjustable Beds, the highest quality Australian-made beds from brands you trust. All with a 10-year warranty, plus locally made premium natural fibre Bambi bedding. A better bed at a much better price every time. Newcastle Adjustable Beds, Warners Bay.
A major land and water search is underway in the Northern Territory with fears a 12-year-old girl has been taken by a crocodile. The child was reported missing yesterday afternoon and was last seen swimming near the remote town of Palumpa. Community members have also joined officers in the search.
The victim of yesterday's stabbing at Sydney University has been identified as a psychological graduate who was on his way to his internship at the Brain and Mind Centre. As the alleged attacker, a 14-year-old boy, remains under guard in hospital. The incident is raising questions about our mental health system.
Escorted by Australian Federal Police officers, the victim of the stabbing, 22-year-old Melvin Kernawan, is discharged from Royal Prince Alfred Hospital. The psychology graduate left behind his alleged attacker. The 14-year-old boy under police guard. This was him on CCTV minutes after the random knifing at Sydney University, as police investigate whether it was an alleged attack inspired by online extremist content or mental health, or both.
Some of the challenges that come with the crossover between mental illness and radicalisation.
It was a dilemma faced by the authorities a year ago. The teenager was arrested over threats to carry out a mass shooting. In February, the charges were dismissed on mental health grounds. The internet was said to be a driving force.
As the police officer said yesterday, there is a salad bar of options out there. If you've got some extreme views or if you're leaning towards them, you will find someone.
The 14-year-old boy was released into the care of a doctor, and there are reports he underwent a de-radicalisation program, but he's now back in custody. He slipped through the cracks. One of the key factors of this new inquiry will be how that happened.
They wouldn't necessarily be watching this boy 24/7.
The issue of better support for those with complex mental health needs made its way to Canberra today, and it's not for the first time. In April, Joel Couchy, who had a history of mental illness, went on a stabbing rampage in Bondi Junction. Jade Young was one of his victims.
She was a loved wife and most loved mother of 2 young girls.
Her mother helped lead the charge to Canberra.
In 2008, the National Health Policy announced a renewed commitment by all health ministers to the continual improvement of Australia's mental health system.
Little action, but more talking.
The 2021 House of Representatives inquiry into mental health. The 2023 National Mental Health Workforce Strategy. Thousands of hours, thousands of pages, millions of dollars, dozens of inquiries have advised that the mental health crisis requires a national approach.
In the wake of the Bondi Junction attack, all governments committed to a national mental health ministers meeting to discuss joint action.
Currently 3 months on, no date and no agenda.
It left a grieving mother to beg.
Please, in the long shadow of the horror of Jade's death, I beg you, please actually do something.
Damien Ryan, NBN News.
At least 6 people have died as Hurricane Beryl roars through the Caribbean. The Category 4 storm is tonight churning towards Jamaica after causing widespread damage and power outages on Grenada and St Vincent and the Grenadines.
8 Palestinians have been killed in Israeli attacks on the southern Gaza city of Khan Yunis, according to local health officials. The IDF ordered the evacuation of thousands of people from the city before launching the aerial assault. It's feared a ground invasion could be next. Joe Biden's staff are in panic mode after a sitting Democrat went public calling for him to withdraw from the election race, while the US president is now blaming his poor debate performance on travel fatigue. Donald Trump has scored another legal victory.
His January 6th trial in limbo, and now the dominoes are falling.
We have breaking news. We just learned that Donald Trump's sentencing on 34 felony counts in the hush money case has been postponed.
Judge Juan Machan pushing back the sentencing until at least September 18, if such is still needed. Trump's lawyers asking for the conviction to be vacated, arguing that much of the evidence used in that trial took place within White House walls and should be considered official acts immune from prosecution. As President Biden attended a briefing on extreme weather, the climate inside his White House remained frosty.
Does President Biden, at 81 years old, have Alzheimer's, any form of dementia?
I have an answer for you. Are you ready for it?
Yes.
It's a no.
A new poll today showed an overwhelming majority of voters say the Democratic Party would have a better chance of retaining the White House if President Biden was not on the ticket. Texas Democrat Lloyd Doggett becoming the first sitting member of Congress to go public and call for his withdrawal.
I salute President Biden. I just feel that it's time for him to step aside.
And from the first representative to endorse Biden in 2020,
I just think that Kamala is the person. It's the cleanest way. She's a seasoned campaigner now.
Democratic governors will meet with the White House tomorrow to discuss their post-debate concerns as other party members urge the president to consider how his run will impact who's going to serve in the Senate and in Congress.
I just want him to appreciate at this time just how much it impacts not just his race, but all the other races coming in November.
In the United States, Alison Petrowski, NBN News.
More cloud than showers today as the coastal showers, heavy at times, continue. The latest Tasman low is well structured and the blocking high in the Southern Ocean is enormous. Another front is running up the coast. That front is going to create another burst of showers for communities east of the Divide while maintaining the southeasterly winds. It's a theme of high teens for most. The showers won't make it past the tablelands where temperatures won't reach the teens.
Still ahead in NBN News, helmets put to the test and ranked on safety. The surprise findings next.
Rugby league journalist Paul Cand avoids a conviction over a late night scuffle.
And the inspirational hunter athlete with a riding ambition to see his sport back in the Paralympics.
Despicable Me 4 has landed at Macca's.
And minions! More minions?
Try our banana desserts range for despicable grown-ups and a happy meal for your little minions. Despicable Me 4, only in cinemas.
How good is a barista almond latte in the comfort of your own home? How good is that smooth and creamy taste? How good is enjoying a barista quality latte? Oh, and a baby chino. How good? So good.
Australia just in front.
If you think your cost of living is tough, the Albanese government is about to make it tougher for regional Australia. They want you to pay to stream your favourite sports.
Here goes our tax cuts.
And our energy rebates. It's un-Australian.
Stand up for regional Australia. Stand up for a free sporting nation. Go to freeforeveryone.com.au.
Please keep sport free.
The Highbet Palm Lake Resort is its country club. These award-winning world-class facilities boast an impressive range of sporting and social amenities. Dedicated wellness precincts provide ample opportunities for you to focus on your health. We have our awe-inspiring resort pool perfectly positioned for relaxation. New homes now selling. This is your time at Palm Lake Resort.
Northern New South Wales Football Premier Competition. Again, catch a match and enjoy all the action. Details at .au.
The King Steel frame lets you rearrange to suit your lifestyle. So why buy ordinary furniture when you can come home to King? Hurry. To the well,
excited. Once the fun starts, it never stops. At Disney on Ice presents Road Trip Adventures, Newcastle Entertainment Centre from July 11th. Book now at Ticketek.
No. Are the rumours true? Is that the new steakhouse stack? Crispy onions, creamy peppercorn mayo. It's finally landed.
You're watching NBN News. These are our top local stories. A 35-year-old man is tonight in custody after being arrested and charged over a series of dramatic robberies in the Hunter. Local health districts on the north and mid-north coasts are joining forces with the Primary Health Network in an effort to provide better healthcare outcomes for communities. Ballina Shire Council is working to speed up its development application process, appointing an independent consultant to make suggestions. Marine scientists have captured never-before-seen footage of Manning River turtles breeding. It's part of a wider program designed to help save the threatened species. And the first artists have been announced for January's Country Music Festival in Tamworth. Among them, crowd favourites Troy Cassar-Daley, Lee Kernaghan and John Williamson.
Rugby league journalist Paul Kent has avoided a criminal conviction over a scuffle outside a Sydney restaurant in late April. The 54-year-old was today handed a 2-year conditional release order after pleading guilty to 1 count of a fray.
Feeling relieved?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, it's good. It's all over, so thanks.
The court heard Kent, who had consumed 21 schooners, had been triggered by the co-accused when he said, "You like to bash women," to Kent, who was found not guilty of a domestic violence charge last year. Tonight, we can bring you an Australian first in cycle safety. A new star rating system is being introduced to help riders choose the most protective helmet. And you might be surprised which brand has come out on top.
It's confronting a toddler's bike helmet put to the test, but you can always count on Bluey to perform.
It actually reduced that impact that would happen on the child's head.
A $22 Bluey helmet is the best you can buy for your kid.
5 stars for safety after a series of drops, knocks and strength tests at the New South Wales Crash Lab in Sydney's West. And tonight, an Australian first. Helmet Star, an easy access online tool. 61 bike helmets rated for safety from 1 to 5 stars. Options ranging from $17 to around $500.
The cost doesn't always equal the safest choice.
If you're buying a 5-star helmet, it's 2.5 times more protective than a 1-star helmet.
On looks alone, the difference between a 1 and a 5-star helmet can be hard to spot. Tests like this one leave little doubt.
The legacy of 51-year-old Masters student James Roberts, killed when he came off his bike in Sydney in 2019.
This is James.
He wanted to make a difference.
A coroner recommending the rating system, James's parents in Queensland calling for more.
Maybe even subsidised for those who are on low incomes or sold with the bicycle.
Right now, the full safety list is at transport.gov.nsw. More will be added, but tonight, this advice.
The important thing to know is that any helmet sold in Australia meets a minimum standard.
Because ultimately, anything that keeps us safe is priceless.
Nice work, Louis.
Ruth Wynne-Williams, NBN News.
There's been fire and fury in the streets of Nairobi during clashes between police and protesters. Tear gas was fired as the demonstrators, fed up with corruption in Kenya, pelted officers with rocks and burned barricades. They're calling for the president to resign. Former New York City mayor and high-profile lawyer Rudy Giuliani has been disbarred. A court found he repeatedly made false claims about Donald Trump's 2020 election loss. Giuliani, who was also Trump's legal advisor, is no longer allowed to practice law in the state. Online retailer Booktopia is on the brink of collapse, calling in administrators after failing to secure new funding. Its shares remain suspended on the ASX after trading was stopped weeks ago. Administrators will now explore whether to restructure or sell the business.
New economic figures show housing construction is improving but remains too low to keep up with demand. Finance editor Chris Kohler has the details.
The number of homes approved to be built last month rose by 5.5%, which is good news, but the big picture remains a little bleak. This shows building approvals over the last few years. Higher costs and interest rates have been pushing construction activity down all over the country. But Western Australia is showing a bit of a rebound at the moment. Looking across to the share market, and the ASX rallied after 2 down days. Coal miner Whitehaven has jumped to its highest level in over a year, supported by strong demand out of China and India for Aussie coal. And the S&P 500 on Wall Street closed at a new record high overnight. Stronger retail sales and those building figures pushed the Aussie dollar higher. It's buying 66 US cents and 62 euro cents. And finally, this is what happened to Booktopia. In 3 years, the share price went from $3 to 5 cents. So, voluntary administration is no big surprise.
Public school principals in New South Wales will be given the power to set their own targets to measure success based on the unique needs of their student body. The extra metric will focus on lifting outcomes in all levels rather than just setting targets for the top NAPLAN and HSC performance bands.
New research has found a link between poor university exam results and the type of room students are tested in. An Australian study compared the performance of more than 15,000 people, finding students in rooms with elevated ceilings had lower scores than anticipated, even when prior performance and study time was factored in. Researchers say spaces like gymnasiums and halls typically have more students crammed in, and fluctuating temperatures and air quality could be the cause. 5-star accommodation with cardboard beds. The Olympic Village in Paris is ready to host athletes from all over the world.
Our Europe correspondent was given a tour of the facilities just before they were placed into lockdown for the Games.
Ahead of the starting gun for the 2024 Olympics, here they're approaching their own finish line.
The last sprint before the opening.
The final touches before 15,000 athletes call this home. Paris Games president and Olympic gold medalist Tony Estanguet says his mission is that all athletes are treated the same.
When you live in this village, you feel that you are part of something unique. Whatever your sport, whatever your country, you are on the same level. You benefit from the same service.
Training facilities for athletes pursuing Olympic dreams are in a repurposed dream factory, film studios.
We had a lot of movies here, like Bureau des Légendes, The Walking Dead, Emily in Paris, so it's like cinema studios. And yeah.
They've got different sorts of stars.
Yeah, I never see so many stars here.
The first task for the incoming residents of Paris's newest suburb will be to select their mattresses from a menu Goldilocks will be happy with. The man from the mattress company keen to show that cardboard beds are sturdy enough. There's a first in Paris for Paralympians, bike share style access to e-scooters and wheelchairs to get around the village. But as Paris starts to warm up, teams like Australia are bringing portable air conditioning units, worried that the eco-friendly underfloor cooling systems won't be enough to keep athletes cool in their apartments. The organisers' response is worthy of a gold medal in diplomacy.
Is the air conditioning unnecessary? Now, this is very much related to each delegations. If some extra needs are for some athletes.
It's taken years of preparation to get to this point, and tomorrow the entire village goes into lockdown. Then there'll be a security sweep lasting several days. The final preparation before the first athletes start arriving in 2 weeks' time. The final hurdle in the race to turn a bunch of empty buildings into a village.
In London, Brett McLeod, NBN News.
The athlete in this next story won't be competing in Paris, but it's not for a lack of trying. Scone's Andrew Driffield is a gold medal winning equestrian rider who spent decades trying to get his category back in the Paralympics, not just for himself, but the next generation.
Riding in the green and gold was a lifelong dream of Andrew Driffield's, which was suddenly dashed 21 years ago.
I got pre-selected in 2003 for the Paralympics the following year.
But a cheating scandal involving Spain's intellectually disabled basketball team saw the whole class of disability wiped from the Paralympic schedule from 2004. So Andrew has spent the last 2 decades advocating for his class to be recognised again in equestrian events.
I think it's been in his mind the whole way through, and he's certainly been on the forefront, forging the way and making it happen, and a big push behind the younger generations coming through as well with that dream of representing Australia.
Part of the movement which saw the sport added to last year's Virtus Global Games, he led the Australian dressage team in France, and you couldn't script what happened next.
Oh, it's just, like joy, it's just, you go out and compete for Australia, it's just, waiting for a long time, and but coming home with a gold medal, it's just,
After claiming a team and individual event, he's now on a mission to repeat the feat at the Virtus European Championships in England later this month.
Again, Australia, it's difficult because they're on pull horses. For everyone else, they get to compete a lot on their own horses.
For now, Andrew's firmly focused on the European Championships and backing up that gold medal performance for Australia, but he still very much dreams of one day representing his country at the Paralympics.
With resources and understanding that we can categorise these athletes, and they do deserve to be competing alongside the physical disabilities, and I think that's what the dream needs to be.
And that inclusion is why this 50-year-old keeps getting back on his horse.
I'm hopeful it'll be in 2028, be really good. If it does happen, if I get selected, that'll probably be my last in the national.
Jack Howard, NBN News.
And let's continue on with sport now with Adam Murray.
Adam, patience is pretty well running out at Parramatta.
There's still no word on who will coach the club next season, and that saw Trent Barrett vent his frustration today. We'll hear from the interim coach next. Also ahead, the Boomers' preparations for Paris off to a winning start, and our big hope at Wimbledon pushed in the first round by a fellow Aussie.
Australia just in front. If you think your cost of living is tough, the Albanese government is about to make it tougher for regional Australia. They want you to pay to stream your favourite sports.
Here's our tax cuts.
And our energy rebates. It's un-Australian.
Stand up for regional Australia. Stand up for a free sporting nation. Go to freeforeveryone.com.au.
Please keep sport free.
Anaconda's up to 50% off, bigger than ever a sale on now. Huge savings on snow gear, camping gear, four-wheel drive gear, bikes and more. Anaconda's up to 50% off, bigger than ever a sale on now. Play more and pay less this winter with our 10% price beat guarantee. Anaconda!
Hey mate, it's time to go home. I can't!
Don't get stuck in pain. Voltaren gel penetrates deep into the skin to reduce inflammation and relieve pain to get you moving sooner.
I'm back!
Voltaren, the joy of movement.
With Ancestry DNA, I can explore deeper connections with the people and places from my past and discover more of my family story today. There could be more to your story too. Piece it together with Ancestry DNA.
Hungry Jack's new Palmy Jack's fried chicken. Fall in love with thick, juicy chicken, crispy bacon, delicious Napolitana sauce, and melted cheese on the new Palmy Jack's fried chicken. The burgers are better at Hungry Jack's. When the lucky country isn't so lucky, it's lucky you're with Amy.
Lucky you're with Amy.
Trailblazers, wildcards, middle-arm maestros. No one dictates their dinner. Armed with nothing more than a trolley token, marching to the beat of their own wallets. They've got groceries in the bag. They're Aldi to the core. Aldi, good different.
Choosing a solar and battery solution for your home can help reduce your bills and the impact to the environment. At Aztec Solar, we're committed to providing a quality tailored solution for your home. Make Aztec Solar your choice.
You can't escape it. You're faced with choices every single day. But whatever choice you face, we're here to help. Hunter Primary Care.
Manufacturer says clear excess stock. Beds are us are clearing excess manufacturer stock. Massive discounts, all with full warranty. Plus, get a great deal on bedroom furniture and adjustable beds too. Excess stock clearance on now at Beds R Us.
Trent Barrett says it's time for Eels power brokers to end the speculation and announce the club's next coach. The call comes as tensions rise in the playing group. Mitchell Moses venting his own frustration last weekend.
Trent Barrett fronting up as interim Eels coach hours after the club's board met to decide who'll be in charge full-time next season.
Have you heard anything?
Yeah, no, I haven't heard anything. We've been here pretty early this morning, so I'm not sure what happened, but I'm sure they'll let us know.
Barrett was battling Josh Hannay, Jason Riles and Dean Young for the top job. An announcement isn't expected until sometime after tomorrow's match against Souths.
For you and the players, is it better to know as soon as possible?
Yeah, I think so. I think for everyone, the club and the players.
The uncertainty is taking its toll on the players. 9 News can reveal a frustrated Mitchell Moses expressed his disappointment in management in a passionate address to senior staff and teammates after Saturday's loss to Newcastle.
Winning's a habit, and unfortunately sometimes you can get into a bit of a rut, and confidence is a big thing as well.
The Rabbitohs are full of confidence after 4 straight wins. They've resisted the temptation to shift Latrell Mitchell from fullback to centre to make room for breakout rookie Mike Gray.
He's our best fullback. He's most beneficial to us at fullback. He touches the ball more there. He has more impact on our defence there.
Tom Trbojevic will make that move for Manly when he returns from a hamstring injury on Saturday.
It'll probably be a breath of fresh air for him, and he can probably chime in when he wants, and you'll see the best out of him, I think.
I just pray he has a little bit of luck as well. I feel for my mate a little bit.
Luke Duffy, NBN News.
Grant Anderson is staying in Melbourne for at least another year after signing a contract extension with the Storm. It follows a strong run of form from the Novocastrian.
Getting upgraded to the top 30 as well this year was one of my goals, and to get next year as well is just a bonus, and I just hope I can extend even longer after that.
Anderson has been named at centre for Melbourne's clash with the Tigers on Saturday. Sad news in league today with the Canterbury Colt hero Jeff Robinson. Famous for his wild black hair and beard, Robinson was a member of the Bulldogs' 1980 and 1984 premiership teams. In all, he played 139 games in blue and white. In recent times, he battled throat and tongue cancer. Jeff Robinson was 66. Alex de Minaur is into round 2 at Wimbledon, but admits he's got plenty of work to do if he's to make a deep run. Countryman James Duckworth put up a tough fight against the Demon on a stop-start day at the All England Club.
On a day when England's summer reigned supreme, Alex de Minaur was aiming to do likewise, but rain delays weren't the only source of his frustration. Fellow Aussie James Duckworth was tormenting him.
Subtle brilliance.
The scoreline will show a straight sets win to the Demon, but there's devil in the detail. All 3 sets decided by tiebreakers.
I knew I was in for a battle, and that's what it was today. It could have gone either way, each of those sets, and I'm just very happy I was able to kind of finish the match on top.
Having made it through, de Minaur can now iron out a few parts of his game ahead of his second round.
There was a lot of good stuff today and a lot of stuff that maybe I could have done a little bit better, so I'll hopefully tweak a couple things and come out for the next round, and hopefully I'll play some great tennis.
It was a disastrous day for Ayla Tomljanovic, trounced by Elena Ostapenko 6-1, 6-2. Any suggestions of an early Novak Djokovic exit have been put on the back burner after a near-clinical display against Czech Vit Kopriva.
Oh, that is sensational.
But the story of day 2 was on court 2. The number 6 seed, Andrei Rublev, throwing a wobbly and smashing his racket into his knee. To injury, Rublev Komasana ranked 122. This was his first ever Grand Slam match. A 100% strike rate now. He'll next meet Australia's Adam Walton, who also scored his maiden Grand Slam win in this, his first visit to the All England Club.
The Boomers have impressed in their pre-Olympic showdown with China, winning the opening match 107-87 in Melbourne. Jack McVeigh led the scoring for Australia with 24 points in just 13 minutes on court. The teams will meet again on Thursday, and there's plenty to play for, with the 17-man squad to be reduced to 12 for Paris. Andrew Hoy won't be heading to Paris for a record 9th Olympics, with the three-time gold medalist set to miss out on selection when the equestrian team is named tomorrow. The Aussie first rode at the Olympics in 1984 in Los Angeles and has completed at every game since, with the exception of 2008 Beijing. Our men's and women's Olympic rugby sevens teams were unveiled today. The Aussie women are the reigning World Series champions and considered gold medal favourites.
I think it just further instills the belief that we can go and perform and give it our best shot and come away with a medal.
Both teams exited in the quarterfinals in Tuck. Australia's 15-player rugby sides took the rare opportunity to have dinner together last night as they prepare for this weekend's Wallaroos doubleheader in Sydney.
When you get someone in the same position as you, it's always nice to get some little hints and tips there. So, no, it's good to meet them.
Lane Morgan and her teammates are hoping to score their first win of the year on Saturday against Fiji. After the break, Turkey's goalkeeper saves the day at the Euros.
No. Are the rumours true? Is that the new steakhouse stack? Crispy onions, creamy peppercorn mayo. It's finally landed.
This is engineered timber from Beaumont's.
And this is engineered timber from Beaumont's.
And right now it's 25% off.
Plus other hard flooring, 20% off.
With new ranges and 25% off,
you'll be happy you chose Beaumont's.
Vaping addiction can creep up on you. And before you know it, it can be hard to resist its pull. Vaping, are you really choosing anymore?
Give up for good. Find tools and support to quit.
Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
And then they said,
No thanks.
that's right. Because no one should touch you in a way that you're not okay with, even our family or friends. If you're not sure, you can always talk to me.
Every conversation brings us closer to a world without child sexual abuse. Let's end child sexual abuse, one talk at a time. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra. When she has a cold, you just want her to feel herself again. You enjoy the show. We'll do the cold and flu, pain and fever relief for up to 8 hours. Nurofen, leave the pain and fever to us.
It's time to hit the ice and see your six-time champions. The Newcastle North Stars take on the best from around. For tickets and game day, visit northstars.com.au. Major sponsor, Newcastle Psychiatry.
To $4,000 cash back when you switch your home loan to IMB Bank. Get a great low rate with no application fee, no monthly or annual fee. All in the time it takes to whip up a stir fry. IMB Bank, right by you.
The Docker time pads are always there. We don't have to go looking for them. We use Docker pads to protect all our powder coating.
We used Docker pads for 12 months now, and we're still using the same set.
I'd recommend Docker pad to anyone that cares about their product.
They have saved us money.
Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us. Just the two of us. Just the two of us. Building castles in the sky. Just the two of us. Serena, nothing compares.
This report brought to you by Serena Tuna. Nothing compares.
Turkey has booked its place in the quarterfinals of the Euros thanks to a nail-biting win over Austria. The hero was Turkey's goalkeeper, who spectacularly repelled an Austrian raid which looked certain to produce a late equaliser. There was no late stress for the Netherlands, who eased past Romania 3-0. As the Jets prepare for their Australia Cup playoff, they're not just receiving orders from their coach. Goalkeeper Ryan Scott revealing the new owners have also laid out their expectations for the season ahead.
Obviously we want to re-engage the community was a big one. You know, our membership is another big one. So, you know, we've got a lot of people.
Meanwhile, Jets players Lara Gooch, Emma Dundas and Milan named in the Young Matilda squad for 2 games in New Zealand. Lake Macquarie replace Warners Bay in the NPLW from 2025. The Panthers have withdrawn, saying the decision comes following an evaluation of resources and infrastructure needed to manage a program. She's considered one of the best back rowers in the NRLW, but Yasmin Clydesdale isn't resting on her laurels. The next generation of Knights pushing her to become even better.
The Knights women on a school blitz, territory that's familiar to teacher Mrs. Clydesdale.
School grounds, this is nothing unusual for you.
Yeah, definitely feels like home.
By her side, Eva McEwen, a student of hers on the field.
It's such a good opportunity, so I learn whenever Gaz is there, I'm right behind her, and I'm just watching everything she does.
I definitely encourage that. I want to be pushed as well, and the younger ones coming through are definitely pushing me.
A fortnight ago, McEwen captured the attention of the rugby league world while representing the Sky Blues in the under-19 State of Origin.
Oh, the footwork! Oh, what a try! Welcome to the ball game, Eva McEwen!
It was the best. It was such a good feeling.
Have you gone back and watched it a few times?
Yeah. I'm not even going to lie, yeah, I have. I've watched it so many times. I think I watched it last night again.
She'll play in Saturday's pre-season trial against the Raiders in Wagga. Ben Jeffries naming a full-strength side.
You'll be focusing on the team cohesion and also just getting girls in and having a proper crack and getting some full contact in.
It'll be Jeffries' first game in charge since filling the shoes of Ron Griffiths, who this week signed to coach the Warriors next year.
I really feel like him going to a team that's just coming back in to create that is going to be really special for him. And yeah, I messaged him straight away and I wished him all the best of luck. But again, I won't be taking it easy when we verse the Warriors next year.
Philippa Anderson has made a strong start to her Bolito Pro campaign, winning her opening heat. The Merriweather surfer posted a 4 and a 5 in challenging conditions to advance to the round of 32.
I mean, I could be at home working, so honestly, it's still pretty good. That's just how I'm looking at things now. Whenever I go away, just really taking the opportunity to not be at home.
She'll go up against adopted Novocastrian Sarah Baum and Sally Fitzgibbons in the next round. Hunter boxer Amber Amelia was set to get in the ring tonight. Instead, her bout's been moved to next week. Not that she has any complaints. She now joins fellow local Brandon Grach on the same card in Wollongong.
They're a united front. Now Fight Life team members will be united next Wednesday.
It's so good fighting with your team on the same card. It feels a bit lonely when it's just you on the card, but when you got your whole team there, it's a really good environment.
Coming off a win, Amber Amelia will take on relative unknown Connie Brown in a super bantamweight bout.
After the first round, I go back to my corner and just listen to the instruction. They'll tell me what to do, so yeah, that's how we do it.
Fellow team member Brandon Grach has endured a wait as well to meet John Naylor.
We've been in camp for a while for this one. The fight's been pushed back a few times, but it's given us more time to prepare. So we've had heaps of great rounds with some great fighters. I'm feeling more...
The 23 Knockout of the Year winner isn't shying away from the spotlight as he puts his 2-0 record on the line.
As a fighter, that's what you love. You love the big knockouts. I know the power that I carry in both hands, so I don't expect anything other than getting there and winning. If the big knockout comes, then it comes.
Sophie Scanlon, NBN News.
Let's hope for some more wins.
Hope so. Thank you, Adam.
All right, thank you, Adam. Let's hope for more sunshine, glimpses of it today. Those squally showers still rolling through. Weather details straight after the break.
The country superstars who almost lost it all. Roping in a new groupie. A current affair next.
Last year, 351 lives were lost on our roads. What would be a more acceptable number?
Acceptable? 70 maybe?
Actually, this is what 7 people looks like.
Family.
So, now what do you think would be a more acceptable number?
0.
Too many lives lost on New South Wales roads. Put safety first.
Newton's laws of gravity were made to be broken. In Aldi's ultralight insulated children's down jacket, just $34.99. It's special. You can buy at the Aldi Outdoor Adventure Sale this Saturday. Aldi, good different.
You wouldn't know it, but this morning Jasmine was running a fever. A dose of children's Panadol, a good nap, and a few hugs from Dad. Now she's ready for everything. Help them back to their epic best with children's Panadol.
This is for dentist. He uses RB gum and enamel. It neutralises bacteria to revitalise your gums in 2 weeks and strengthens your enamel. For stronger teeth and revitalised gums. Gums roll, not guns. RB.
Whatever you're up to, now's good for a deliciously creamy and frothy Nescafe cappuccino. Nescafe, make your world.
Blocked nose? Get Vicks Inhaler for...
20 for $20 tenders and nuggets. Great shout.
Harris Scarf Big Stock Take Sale is on now. Save 40 to 60% off quilts by Tontine Gainsborough and more, plus 40 to 60% off flannelette bed linen by Laura Ashley Linen House and more. Harry's sale ends 31st of July. Exclusions apply. Harris Scarf, great brands, great prices.
For my marriage, Philip. But I only want to do this once. But I want a lawyer who's been through this hundreds of times.
Copious.
Well, it was so nice to have some sunny breaks throughout today, but those showers, those squall lines still have the potential to punch on in straight across our coast. They are going to continue, but our forecast is looking a little bit better. Those breaks may become more frequent in the coming days. Now, these showers, heavy at times, those downpours, what we copped yesterday has been focused over northern New South Wales. We had up to 50 millimetres recorded, and those same numbers have happened around Coffs Harbour, the Northern Rivers, and into southeast Queensland as well. So it has been quite brutal underneath this cloud cluster here. Low-level cloud and showers streaming in, and rain periods from the north converging over the northern New South Wales coast. That low spiralling around, another arm pushing through. That's why we've seen some showers again move in this afternoon and this evening. But it's actually not about the low, it's all about the high. It is monstrous, it's a big one, maybe a record breaker in fact. The highest pressure at sea level recorded in the Southern Ocean of over 1,044 hectopascals, so much so that it's creating some very cold nights in Tasmania. Yesterday morning they recorded -10. This morning it went down to -12.5 degrees, a record breaker for July. It's cold in the Alice as well, -2 to 13. The shower activity focused in between Sydney and Brisbane tomorrow. Most of the nation is dry. For us, we had some lovely breaks. The showers moved through on and off, and some heavy little squall lines coming through this afternoon. And generally, we topped out at 16, 17 degrees. The never-ending southerly, southeasterly influence with us again for another 24-hour period. Driving in the cloud cover, some breaks though, and you can see the showers just a little more less frequent. Still the potential of those little heavy downpours, those squally showers pushing in across the coastal suburban areas, but it's easing off a little bit, so nice to come off the throttle for a moment or two. Topping out about 17, 18 degrees, so also hopefully just a little bit milder as well, so a little bit of good news in the forecast. And the further or the deeper inland you are, the less you're going to see that shower activity, to the point that it'll almost be fine for the majority of the day for the upper Hunter. There's no shortage of swell, there's plenty of that, but it's very much a wind-affected affair off the coast at the moment. 5 to 7, the sun's up, down at 5 p.m. Tomorrow morning, high tide, 7 a.m. Back to the low at about 12:26. Over 2.5 metres of chunky swell, almost 3 metres hitting our coast. The shower numbers have all dropped now, including the weekend, and now the rain band also is starting to back off in its prediction. So, looking a little bit better, to the point that we've got a fine weekend forecast for parts of the Hunter. Good luck. Hopefully we'll have most of that, but some still would like more rain throughout what has been a very dry start to the year, but we're seeing better conditions now. And we'd certainly love a break in the showers for the Central Coast, so easing off at times. As we go to the beach, well, it hasn't been fun. The red flags are up and they are flapping away in the southerly winds, which are eating into the swell, causing those seas to rise, which is basically the choppiness and the white caps, and the swell is just blown out and overall fairly uninviting for most of our coast. So the worst of the rain, mostly for the northern New South Wales coast and southern Queensland.
Okay, thank you, Gav. That's NBN News.
From all the NBN team.
Good night.